When do you know it's time to let it go?
I think in a case like this, you need to trust your gut.
This is The Briefcase from Sutherland Weston Marketing Communications. Quick conversations from everyday observations, delivering practical marketing ideas you can carry with you.
I'm Dan Cashman, Public Relations Director at Sutherland Weston.
And you also have for years and years and years been the host and producer and editor and bottle washer of The Nite Show.
Yes, it's been a passion project for sure.
Airing on all three markets in Maine, and I was surprised to learn, and I think many were, that it was the only locally produced late night talk show in the entire United States of America.
Some have come and gone through our tenure, and there were certainly some that existed before us, but I believe the last one that went away was called Tonight in San Diego, California. They were running on the CW affiliate out there, and it is no more. I'm still friends with the people that hosted it. It was a wonderful production.
But now yours has gone away.
True. 15 years is a pretty long shelf life for a local television program, and it really was a labor of love. And for all of us that were involved, we have other responsibilities and jobs.
Let me draw upon your experience as a host and a producer of a television program, as a person that helps manage PR for so many businesses, and your business background, and ask you this. When do you know it's time to let it go?
I think in a case like this, you need to trust your gut. Jerry Seinfeld, towards the end of Seinfeld, said that in comedy, timing is everything. And I certainly would not call myself a comedian. In fact, comedians would bristle at that. But I do think that timing is everything when it comes to a lot of things. Television, business, relationships. And sometimes you have to trust your gut on that timing. Sometimes you'll get it wrong, but other times you'll know it. And in this case, I knew it.
When you dreamed up your show, it was the equivalent of someone writing a business plan, and it has to be flexible. I'm sure you were flexible with the way that you produced The Nite Show.
Absolutely. We had a relationship with the New England School of Communications at Husson University and a relationship with the TV stations, and those really were the only elements that needed to be strong pillars. Everything else was flexible.
But when you have a business plan, you cling to it if you're wise. Mm-hmm. And that might prevent you from letting go when it's time.
I think that's true in many cases, but I think, especially in Maine, a business plan is worthwhile, but the person behind the business plan or the people need to also recognize that sometimes you must be nimble. Every business plan in 2020 with COVID went out the window. With The Nite Show, we started shooting the show in my basement. And I say we, I mean I, because nobody could get together. In order to survive that period of time, everybody had to be nimble. And that is true in so many other small ways as it relates to personal stories with people in business.
Now, another parallel. You're a business owner. You know it's time to let it go. The people that you just mentioned, the students from the New England School of Communications, those who have partnered with you all of this time, they are the equivalent of your employees. Mm-hmm. And that complicates the decision.
Absolutely. The relationship with NESCOM and Husson has grown over time, and so I have a real fondness for the faculty and staff and administration and absolutely the students, current and alumni, who have gone through that program. And it was important for me, and I think for planning, to have a long runway for this program to say goodbye. So we announced it in February of 2024, and it ended in May of 2025. That's a 15-month runway to kind of figure out what the program can do next, how we're going to close it up appropriately. That's not an appropriate runway for everybody. And in fact, I was criticized from a lot of friends of mine for taking that long. They said, why don't you just say goodbye and close it up? It couldn't work that way.
And so the parallel is, if you're a business owner, if your heart and your gut are telling you it's time, plan the length of that runway for your employees and for your vendors.
If you're a sole business owner, only you know the business as well as you do. So if you need to take that time, if you say to yourself, we're going to close up shop, but it's going to take 15 months to do so, you're really the only person that can know every single possible thing that goes into that decision. So if your gut tells you to do it that way, do it. But at the same time, make it public. I had some seller's remorse when I decided that the show would come to an end. And if I hadn't announced it publicly, we'd probably still be doing the show today.
I wonder if there's a final parallel, and that is, now that you are done with this chapter, you have opportunities ahead. You could do this, you could do that. If a business owner is seeing that, okay, it's time for a change, while I will have a period of mourning, I can look now to other opportunities.
I think that's fair to say. And I think it really depends on what the business's goals are and what your own personal goals are. And if your business is one that employs 300 people and is making money hand over fist, then maybe it's not closing up the business, maybe it's selling the business. Everything is a little bit different, but I think it all comes back to trusting your gut and not having it be an impulsive decision. Think it through, trust that gut reaction, and kind of see what the pros and cons are of every possible scenario.
I think the big difference is Ron's Romantic Supermarket is now closed and closed for good. And at least with the Nite Show, we get reruns. It was Ron's Romantic Supermarket, wasn't it?
Dave's.
Boy, you remembered that quickly.
I think we're done here.
You have been listening to The Briefcase from Sutherland Weston Marketing Communications. Got a question for the Sutherland Weston team? Email us at sutherlandweston.com.